yeah, our podcast is on your journey in music and how you guys got to where you are now, and of course we'll talk about the new record and the the career of Earshot, if that's cool.
Yeah, well, I'll forewarn you, I'm the new guy, so I won't have too many like the gory details of the whole history of the band, but I'll try and help you if I can.
Oh no, no worries, man. I appreciate it though.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about your journey in music and joining the band.
Okay.
Cool, dude. So you said you're in Pennsylvania. Are you originally from there, born and raised?
I am. Yep. I think I moved to Pennsylvania. I think when I was a little kid, like 1980 or so, and then I grew up in central Pennsylvania near Harrisburg. Do you ever hear that town?
I have. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it, but
Well,
I've
it's the
heard of the town.
capital. So, but yep. So yeah, I've kind of. I mean, I've lived elsewhere temporarily, but I always seem to come back to Pennsylvania, and yeah, I'm kind of. I wouldn't say I'm a country boy, but I'm a woodsman. I like
Okay,
yeah, but
that's rad.
I don't drive a tractor though.
I love the ceiling in your house, man. That's cool as
Oh
hell.
yeah. It's like
Like wood
I'm down
plank.
at my recording studio here, and there's like all wood beams and shit.
Yeah, it's dope. It's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds good in here.
That's awesome. So, how did you get into music?
Uh, well, my dad was an avid listener, and he
Okay.
had like the most kick-ass record collection you've ever seen, like a lot of classic rock and stuff. And then I think in like middle school or something, we kind of had to play the guitar for
Hmm.
class, and
Oh wow, that's a cool
I liked
class.
it. I liked it right away. And my buddy had a guitar. My buddy had. Do you play guitar at all?
Yeah, but I'm not like a songwriter or
Yeah.
musician by any
So
means.
my buddy had like a pink Charvel guitar, if you know what that is, like
Uh-huh.
80s with the wang bar and stuff. And he was like, he had played, a year or two before me, and I thought he was like the coolest dude in school. So I like once I saw him with that guitar and he had like longer hair and stuff, I was like started playing, and I ditched the skateboard at that point and ditched the
Okay.
bike, and started to listen to Metallica and all that good stuff. So
Sure. That's rad.
yeah.
Well, did you start a band with any of those kids when you were in high school?
Right. So the guy with the guitar that I thought
Mhm.
was like the coolest kid in school, he actually became. I started playing, and I think at one point he was like, "I'll just sing because you're like whatever, you're a better player than me." Or I forget the circumstances, but I ended up being the guitar player, and he ended up being the singer, and we started a band, and that was the first of many. And here we are talking about Earshot 30 years later.
That's rad. So, like from that band, like obviously, like what was the next step in your career musically? Like, did you go to college for music, or did you start
um,
a band
I,
there that
yeah,
kind of did stuff?
I went to this school in Pennsylvania called Duquesne.
Okay.
It's spelled like Duquesne. People think it's Duquesne. If you've ever seen like them playing basketball or something on TV.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't. I'm not
Anyways,
from. If I'd have to see it
so
written
I went
out.
there for jazz, and
Jazz guitar.
yeah,
Oh wow.
and
So you
I
must be
wasn't
really
like,
good at that point.
well, I didn't love it. I wasn't like all in with it because like
Hmm.
I'm much more of a rock and roll type person, or even but hard rock and rock. So like I was trying to learn jazz, and in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't do that because I wasn't really into it. And God, there's no money in that, I don't think.
Unless
There's
you're like in a
hardly any
pit
money
orchestra or
left.
something.
Yeah, there's hardly any money left in rock and roll. I don't know what's left in jazz, but I mean, obviously it's a beautiful artistic like medium, but it's just not, it wasn't the right fit for me. But I did take, it's funny you brought that up. I took lessons from this guy on TV, was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was in that show. He was handyman Joe Negri.
Oh, really?
You remember that show?
Yeah, yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So the guy on that show is like this badass guitar player, and he gave lessons at the school. But anyways,
What was that? I mean, that must have been. When was that like linear for when he was in that show on the show? Is that after he was on the show?
um,
That's crazy.
well, to date myself, that was, what was that, about 1995.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if that show was still production at that point. I don't know.
That's
Maybe it
crazy.
might have been. It might have been the end of the production. I
End
don't
of
know.
it.
But anyways, and then I went to a school called Full Sail, which is like a studio production school, and I learned like the technical end of things. And then out of there, I worked in the studio, and then we started my prior band, Breaking Benjamin. We started that in about 1998.
Oh, you were in Breaking Benjamin? Okay. Oh, wow.
And then we, there was a bunch of like, I had another band called Lifer, and it was then I rejoined Breaking Benjamin, and there was like a whole little circular thing there with a couple group of guys stirring around in the same bands. But yep. So I started, professionally playing music full time in about 1998 or 1999.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I've been very fortunate. And
With Breaking Benjamin, were you in the band when that band started?
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like we started that up about, I think it was 1998 or
Oh,
so.
wow. Well, do you
Yep.
mind talking about that at all?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I don't know, like the beginning phase of it until you kind of.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful thing. We obviously our second record in that band like exploded. Our first record did good,
Uh-huh.
and second record we had a song called So Cold that like took off.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
that band was cool because it was built organically. Like it was pre social media, it was pre like, it was a lot of word of mouth
Mm-hmm.
and radio airplay with that band. And then we toured a lot, and we toured with like great bands, and we kind of like got out and did the work the old fashioned way,
Sure.
instead of like, a lot of newer bands are built up on social media and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of went out and did it the old school way. But
Wow. Well,
yeah.
like so early on when you guys formed the band, like how did you, tell me like how you were just playing locally around, Pennsylvania area, and then how did you kind of step up to the next level? I mean, obviously you were in the band when you guys got huge.
Right.
So
uh,
that's
right, so
fascinating to me.
it's a bit of a convoluted scenario there. So I moved to this town, which I still live in, called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And there was all these great rock clubs, and that's back when people would go out all the time and not sit and stare at their phones all day. So,
Yeah.
like, there was like, and rock music was still very much in fashion and all that good stuff. And um so we played clubs, and then like I said, I had another band called Lifer, and we became like really popular in this area. And there was a great music scene around here at the time, and all these like proper rock clubs with the big stage and the lights and the PA and all that good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um, and we just kind of built up a local following, and Breaking Benjamin also did the same thing in this area, and it all was like, um, so it was interesting for me because I was in both of those bands, and we, had a great local following, and then, the record deals come in and stuff, and then take it to that next level and spread it, nationwide. And then, with that band, it became kind of like a global.
Yeah, that must have been exciting. Do you
Yeah.
like when the labels, do you remember like I mean, that must have been a big moment, like getting signed to a record label and stuff.
Right. So back, that was 20 some years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
record labels were um,
Actually making money.
like a thing, and like, yes, that was very exciting, that to be a young man, like, signing on,
Signing
the
a
real
deal.
dotted line, and, whatever, shaking hands with the devil or whatever they say it is. But um, it was very, super exciting times. And, a fucking roller coaster of a ride. And,
Mm-hmm.
but, yeah. Yeah. And record labels used to be, not every band that was signed gets to that grade of success, but
Right.
certainly helps. And I still, even though the music business is all squirrely and kind of, I don't even know what it is anymore. I still recommend the old school approach of, a record label and terrestrial radio play. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously this year with the pandemic, all bets are off. I don't even know what's what, but
Right. Yeah.
here we
The
are.
world, it's totally changed. If
Right.
this
So
was
here we
the
are
end
on
of 2019, it'd be a different conversation, I'm
right.
sure.
But anyways, so here I am in Earshot, and we're making music remotely, and that's a beautiful thing in of itself. You have to kind of adapt to like not being in the same room with people and stuff, and
Mhm.
um, so you have to like sprinkle in some other energy into it
Yeah.
via email that you don't necessarily get that one-on-one reaction and vibing off each other. You have to kind of use your imagination and
Sure. Sure. I mean, that
other things into it.
I love that you said like because there are so many bands that signed, especially in the '90s and early 2000s, that were signing
Yeah.
these huge major label contracts, and
Mm.
then like their record would get shelved, or like they wouldn't, it wouldn't ever get off the ground. And it's
Yeah, I had
interesting that you said that, like,
a
where
buddy of mine had a band, and they got a big record deal, and they made this beautiful album, and it kind of got shelved, and the record label like got bought out, or I don't know the.
yeah, all the majors are kind of falling
Yeah,
in and out, like
it's
with
like,
Lava and Epic. I mean, there's all these things that were happening, I believe, back in
yeah, I've
the
heard a lot of those stories, and then it sucks because then you're in limbo, and then they like kind of, you're not allowed to put out stuff with other people, and
yeah.
other, like
But I
legal hangups that come with that. So that sucks, um,
But yeah, like I've heard like in other conversations on this podcast, people saying, like you get the record deal, and that just means that like you move from the kiddie table, now you're at the big boy table, and like now they're like, okay, now do something, right? It's not like, oh,
yeah,
I'm on a major label, I've got all like selling out stadiums. Like it's not like they hand you like a fan base
yeah,
and
that's
a
right. Getting signed is like half the battle. I always thought of that as you just hired like an amazing team of professionals that are good at what they do to
Mhm.
help your band and promote your band, and it's nationwide and sometimes it's worldwide or whatever.
Mhm.
But I always looked at it as like not necessarily like a bank, but more of like a team of professionals to help your band out. Because I mean, musicians are like good at making music, but they're not always like the most professional, like goal oriented, like neat, like so
Yeah.
we're more like scatterbrained people that need a little bit of like organization and
Yeah, the creatives, and then it's
right.
like they have more of the like, okay, here's the structure, and I'm gonna get your finances in order, and then this in
Yeah,
order, and
like it's more like we're the students and the teacher has to come in and be like, all right, class, everybody get your shit together and pay attention here, and this is what we're gonna do. So I think in that regard, yeah, like sometimes I think when musicians are left to their own devices, like nobody is like in charge or what. It depends on the group. I mean, I think all good groups have a fearless leader or one or two guys that really kind of guide the shape of the band or something. But somebody's got to be in charge. You know what I mean? If
right,
yeah,
totally. Well, you mentioned that the second record you guys put out was like the one that kind of got,
that's the
it
one
blew
that
up,
that one really went.
blew
Yeah.
up. Do you
Mm.
remember like seeing that? Like, what was like? Was it were you headlining like big tours now, or what was the jump there? Like where did you see the growth?
Mm.
Or radio play? I'm sure maybe that was a thing
Radio
where
play was the obvious thing, but I don't know. It was a while ago. I would say maybe like on the first record we'd pull into town X, and there would be so many people at the club, and then on the second album you pull into town X and the club would be fucking packed.
yeah.
So I think that was like the noticeable difference of like, oh, this is like next level shit here.
Yeah, sure, sure. And then you guys got a gold, what, platinum record for that album too?
Yeah.
That was probably cool moment to you know, get that in the, you know, get a plaque. I just see you have a plaque back there too. Is
Yeah,
that it?
no, that one,
That's Scorpion King.
right. So my other band um, did a song for the Scorpion King soundtrack. That band's called Lifer. But
You guys get
we're talking about all my other bands. We're supposed to be talking about Earshot.
sure.
The other guys in Earshot are going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Sorry.
But, it's all good. Right. So that band, we did. You know, who I guess what's that guy's name? The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
dope. So that, yeah, another gold, I mean, gold record there, and you got the platinum record. Well, so how did you link up with the guys in Earshot, and then how did that
All right.
relationship form, and
Okay.
when did you join that band?
Right. So I met the singer of Earshot, Will Martin, back when I toured with the other group, and we kind of I remember we hit it off right away. You know, we'd hang out and bullshit, and you know, drink a couple beers or what have you. And we stayed in touch over the years. And I was always like, I was like a fan first, so I saw this band from the outside, and I would like go and watch their sets and things like that. And I always thought Will was super talented. I liked the songs, and then we stayed in touch over the years, and I think for like the last 4 or 5 years, that you know, he wasn't doing as much with the band as he did prior. And then he kind of gave me a ring like I don't know, like a year and a half ago, and said, "Hey man, would you be interested in like jamming out with me and playing guitar? I have a couple shows coming up." And I said, "Sure." I didn't even like hesitate, because I know his like level of excellence and musicianship is awesome. He's like a fantastic singer and songwriter. So I was in, and then well, he lives in Los Angeles, so I had to like learn the stuff on my own.
Oh, sure.
But like I didn't get any cheat sheets. You know, he wasn't like, "Oh, this is how the song goes." So I had, you know, which I'm very comfortable with. I learned to play by ear, so I had to, you know, I'm sure there was a couple things that I fucked up, but I did my best, and I learned his set that he wanted me to. And I came out. We played a couple shows in Texas about a year ago, and then you know, all this
Pandemic.
Yeah, so that kind of put you know, it's been hard, and that obviously put a wrinkle in like booking more shows and getting a tour together. So but so then we're just concentrating on trying to like make some music together remotely and see where this goes. I don't know if things are gonna like, you know, people are gonna get vaccinated. We're gonna open back up this summer or whatever, but we're playing it out here like everybody else is. So
Sure. Well, so you guys have released what, 2 songs in the past year, or
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, the first one was gonna launch more set cover.
Yeah, the Uninvited.
Yep.
And then you guys put out your first original song in 5 years, right? With Been a Long Time, which is huge.
Yeah,
That
people seem to really like that one, and it's doing well.
it was that, and that's probably the first. Did you play on Uninvited, the cover?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so you recorded with twice with them?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna say, sorry, I cut you off.
I was gonna say I probably overplayed on that one. I did like a million guitar parts.
That's rad. Well, so you had joined the band like to play some shows, and then you obviously are in the band now. But the world shut down as you guys had like a schedule of like a tour schedule going. Like, tell me where you were when the pandemic kind of stopped everything.
We had some. We were talking about doing a tour. Forget who. I think it was Smile Empty Soul. Did you ever hear of those guys? I think that's like another hard rock band from the, you know, the 2000s era. I think
cool.
We're talking about doing a tour with them or something, and then you know, all this started happening, so everything got kind of put on ice.
Sure.
But like I said, I only played one show last year, so it's been weird.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was a show like where people were in their cars and they honked.
Oh, really?
Instead of clapping, you get.
Yeah. How was that? Was that kind of weird? I mean, I'm sure it was weird.
It was like less of an immediate, like, visceral interaction with the audience.
Right.
But I mean, it's kind of funny. You know.
Like flashing their brights at you, like good job.
uh, Instead of, the singer saying, "Let me see your hands," it's like, let me hear those horns, I guess.
Wow.
Singers used to say, "Let me see those horns," right? Like
Yeah,
those.
oh yeah. Now let me hear them. That's good, man. You should coin that. That's funny. Let me hear those horns. Wow. Okay. Well, how did you guys record Uninvited? Was that all virtual still, or was that done
Right.
earlier?
Well, that was, when was that? That was about a year or so ago. I mean, it was done. That one was done virtually because we all live in different states.
Mm-hmm.
So with this group, there's a little bit of that built in, baked into the cake, or whatever, however you want to say it. But where we two guys live in Pennsylvania, two guys live in Florida, and the headquarters of the band are in Los Angeles. So
Okay.
there's going to be a little of that going on anyways with this
Mm-hmm.
group of fellows. But without all this going on in the world, we would fly somewhere and meet up and hang out and make music together in the same room.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about the writing process on Been a Long Time? How is that like working? Like, were you guys working over Zoom like this?
It's just via email.
Oh, email. Okay.
Yeah.
So they'd send you
Like,
a
take all
track
the
and then you'd.
sex- I'm like, for the fan, I'm like taking all the sexiness out of it. They're like, "Oh, it's just an email."
Well, have you done like writing sessions over this, or like, because I've talked to people about that and they either say like it's easier to focus because there's no other distractions other than like, okay, let's sit here and spend 2 hours writing this, or when you go into a studio with people, it could an 8 hour day you could probably accomplish less than you would in like a 3 hour Zoom call.
Yeah, there's a lot more of just like back and forth sending ideas and stuff. This song in particular was mostly put together by Will, and then some other guys, added their flavors into it. But other songs we're working on are like, here's a part, or here's a riff, or
Mm-hmm.
here's my sketch of the song, the outline of it, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and people listen to it and make changes and send it back or give a phone call or whatever. But yeah, it's not very glamorous, but
Not ideal.
they can do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So are you guys working on like a full record or an EP or anything? Like,
I think an EP. I'm not sure a full record is in the cards at this point. I was saying, it's like another interview I did. I was like, I don't even know if people really jam out the full records anymore. I don't know. It
mhm.
seems to be like the climate is like singles,
Sure. Yeah.
you
It's
know,
like a world of singles.
right? And everybody seems to have like, everybody's got ADD all of a sudden. Like the attention span of everybody, they're just like clicking through their,
Their
scrolling through.
phones. Yeah.
So, that's fine. I mean, one song at a time makes it easier, um, for the musicians just to stay laser focused on one thing and get it
Mhm.
done. But yeah, I mean, a full record isn't out of the question.
Okay.
It
That's
just really
cool.
hasn't been, you know.
And yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that song, like, are you guys like, I mean, obviously you live in different states, so I don't know how you could or how it would be how you could pull it off. I mean, but like, are you doing any of those like live stream things, or you said you did the like, parking lot concert, but
Yeah,
other
that
than
one
that, have you been able to play at all with each other?
we haven't.
Oh, wow.
I don't I think to do one of those live streams, you'd all have to be in the same.
Same area or room, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I've put together those, you know, everybody in their own studio videos where, the
Mhm.
virtual thing. Um, and that you kind of play your part and the other guy plays his part and then you put it together. To do
Sure.
a proper live stream, we'd all have to be in the same.
Sure, sure, sure. Oh,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
have done like the recorded ones? Is that what you said? or no? Not yet.
Not with this group, but I have with other fellows on other, some cover songs and some stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Do you
Did a
enjoy?
really
Did you
nice-
enjoy that or?
I did a nice cover. People seem to like of Temple of the Dog, Hunger Strike.
Oh, rad! I love that song.
Yeah. I don't know how it's labeled on YouTube, but it's on there somewhere. It turned out pretty nice. The guy from there was a couple guys from different bands and stuff. We made like a little super
super group.
Yeah, if you will. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Do you have plans to do that again at all, or was that just kind of one time thing?
Um, we did a couple of those, and I think the consensus was like everybody's doing those, and they're kind of like getting beat.
Right. I know. It was like when it
There
first.
there was a lot of those going around last year, rightfully so.
Sure. I mean, nobody else had. I mean, how else are you going to get the word out or get your?
Yeah, I remember
the people.
The one I liked the most, believe it or not, was the Doobie Brothers one. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. They did a live stream.
They did like one of these.
Like pre-recorded type, like
yeah, like they put together a little from home video. What song was that? Shit, I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but
I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna look it up when we're done.
That one I checked out. That one I remember. That one was floating around. I was like, this sounds amazing. And it's like these the old school guys. Basically, I felt like they schooled all us guys. They're like, no, this is how you do it. Their vocal harmonies were like killer.
Spot on.
Yeah, the guitar playing was really good. I was like, oh shit, like,
that's cool.
The older guys know how to do it.
Yeah. Do you know the band Pup? Have you heard of them? They're like a newer, like heavier band, but they did like something when all those live streams are happening. Theirs was like showing people why. Like a lot of people were like, oh, after a certain fact, they're like, these are all pre-recorded. Like, why aren't you just playing them live? And they're like, this is why, because like the latency issues. So they all started playing from their separate homes at the same time, and it just created this like insane, like loopy, like noise. And it's
because of the latency. Now, the ones that I did, I saw some where people were cheating because they were like, you could tell that it was not one solid take and it was like edited.
Right.
The ones that I did, I'm not saying better than anybody else, but the ones I did, I played my part the entire way through with no edits or cuts or anything.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I wanted to make it somewhat of a live, I wanted to make it a live performance. So it was my part was live the whole time. But I did some people kind of fudging a little bit.
And yeah, totally.
And then I don't go for that, but
yeah, so they made a whole thing like making fun of the people that were doing that, and they're like, see, these aren't real. Like, this is what it would sound like if it was real. And like they posted it, and it like went nuts on like Facebook or something. It was pretty funny to see. But Brad, so you're in your own studio there. Do you still record other bands or record your own stuff from there?
It's not open to the public. It's just in my home. So
okay.
I do all the projects. Well, these days, all the projects that I do or record or do my own stuff or whatever are all kind of been here lately. Mm-hmm. But it's a nice setup, and I'm fortunate and that I have a place, and I think my neighbors hate me, but other than that,
like that guy never stops playing guitar so loud.
I play guitar, and actually I play the drums here too, and like that's the thing that really carries. I think you can hear that snare drum like a mile away.
Oh sure. Do you produce did you produce the been a long time or
yep.
okay.
Myself put that together, and we put together the Alanis Morissette thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I over the years, as I gotten older, I got a little bit more into producing, and that that's you have to segue into the old man like once you can't physically tour and you got to do something, so you become
producer.
You become the behind the scenes guy.
That's awesome. Well, so with
let the kids go out and
Yeah, let the kids go out and tour and live in the van and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm way too old for that van shit, man. I can't believe I used to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you had a great time doing it.
Like, guys taking a leak in a Gatorade bottle and stuff. Like, looking back, I'm too old. I'm definitely too old for that.
That's funny. Well, so you got, you have the one song or the cover and the new song out with Earshot, and you guys have
Yep.
been working on new music. Do you have more coming out soon, or?
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna let this one just came out, so we'll let it,
Let it breathe.
marinate a little bit. But
Sure.
there's more in the pipeline, and lots of good stuff, and it's exciting.
Rad. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
Really
man.
cool. Thank you again so much for doing this, Aaron. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
Yeah, I have one more question before I let you go.
I like your David Bowie.
Oh, I got that thing at Comic-Con. The artist's name, The Art of Sketch, and he has. Oh, I'll show you another one real quick.
It looks like
it's a jack-o'-lantern Bowie.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's this one too. I thought was funny for my kid's bathroom.
Oh, nice, dude.
It's like a mummy with toilet paper. So yeah, but yeah,
How many kids you have?
2. One's 12 or almost 13, and one's almost 5.
I have a 19-year-old son. So.
Oh wow, that's cool. Is he a guitar player too?
No, I bought him, like, when he was a kid, I bought him like a little drum set, and I bought him a guitar, and he wasn't into it. So I didn't want to like
Force it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I want that to be like a natural progression where you like get interested in stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I took piano lessons when I was a kid, and I had to learn like, to read music and do all that stuff. And I remember I told my mom, I was like, I wanted to quit because it was so like regimented and forced.
Right.
That it just didn't seem like a natural fit. But just that's like a month ago, he was like, Dad, he's like, can I have one of your guitars? I want to start playing. So that's cool. Like
That's rad.
He came to me with
Came to you. That's cool.
I was like, dude, pick one out. It's yours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been my 12-year-old was in piano lessons for a while, and he didn't pick it. Like he doesn't. I don't know. If he's kind of interested, but then he's like not that interested. He's more interested in video games and stuff, which is cool with me. But the 5-year-old or 4-year-old, we bought him like in the beginning of COVID. He was just like, he's very like hyper, like he needs to like go outside and run around forever. Yeah. So I bought him an electric kit, like electric drum kit to try to get his energy out, and he's been having fun with that. I'm like, I need to get him in lessons, but I mean, right now they're not really doing lessons, so I can kind of play, but so I kind of just try to teach him like the basic beat, and he's doing pretty well. Like it's just hard because there's not a throne short enough for him. So like I have like a little like short piano bench that he tries to sit on and play, but he mainly stands and hits a kick and then snare and yeah.
Like
so,
right,
yeah. So he's got that. I'm sorry.
He always stands up and does like intros of songs and stuff.
Yeah, so he's been trying to doing that. So I think he kind of enjoys it, but it's also one of those things where I don't want to like force him to play it. Because then he's not going to be interested. But yeah, it's kind of like we're on the fine line right now of
that was my mindset with that whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, Aaron, thank you again for doing this. My last question is, do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Yeah, get a short drum throne.
I love that. Somebody needs to make a short drum throne.
No, on a serious note, I mean, it sounds corny, but like I felt like I really played music because I was really passionate, and I played it for the right reasons, like not to be, famous guy or to make money. I mean, that stuff is the added, an added bonus, but like I always played music. Like if I never, made it in a band, I would still play music every day, and I'm really passionate about it. All these years later, I still really am really into it, and I'm a fan of music too, and I listen to a whole bunch of different kinds of music. And you'd probably be surprised if you saw I still have a CD collection, but you'd probably be shocked if you saw it. It's all over the map. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I mean, just be passionate about it and do it from that pure, whatever that point is, that center point in your brain or whatever, where
Mhm.
there's a purity to it. And
I
the
love
and
that.
the good stuff will, I think, will follow from there,
Mm.
whatever.
Bringing it backward.